Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Rabbi.
Good morning.
We are learning Mishna Nedarim, Parak Test, Chapter 9, Mishna Ches, Mishna 8. Continuing with different examples of Rabbi Kiva's rule that a neder that is partially annulled, the rest of it becomes annulled also. And as we had in the previous Mishnah, there are ones that are annulled automatically. You don't even need to go to a sage to annul them. They are obvious. They're obvious mistakes, and therefore the starts off being annulled automatically. And then there are certain cases where you need a Pesach. You need to go to the Chacham to be able to do it. So now we have another example. Kainem yayin she'eni toyim. A person says, Kainem yayin, wine is a carbon, like a carbon to me, but I will not taste it. So he's forbidding wine on himself. But he doesn't stop there. He expresses when he makes the neder, shayayin ra leme'ayim, because wine is bad for your stomach. So that's what he says. I forbid wine on myself because wine is bad for your stomach. Amrulai, so his friend said to him, V'haloi hamayushen yafel leme'ayim. If it's aged wine, then it's good for the stomach. Meaning you made a mistake. Your assumption was that all wine is bad for your stomach, and we're correcting you that that aged wine is not bad for your stomach. And here in the bottom, they bring down in the notes that Miyushin wine, aged wine, means aged at least 2 years. It is now in its third year. At that point, it is good for you. It's not bad for your stomach. Or actually, the wording is it's good for your stomach. So in that situation, we say Huter b'Miyushin. Automatically, old wine is permitted to him because that was a complete mistake. And the Bartanura speaks out that when you tell the person that, his reaction is, had I known this, I would never have made the neder. Or he says, had I known this, I would have said that new wine is forbidden to me while the old wine remains permitted. If this is how he reacts, then automatically the neder is at least the starting point is that the neder regarding aged wine is automatically annulled. The neder is automatically permitted even without being annulled by a sage. Since he intended only to prohibit wine that was harmful to the stomach, and that does not apply to aged wine, his neder was made in error and does not require annulment. Meaning, starting off, the first step is that it's very clear that he never intended to forbid aged wine. That was a mistake on his part. That part is automatically annulled. You don't even have to go to the sage. It's an obvious mistake. Now, though, the Mishnah concludes and it says, he's not only permitted in aged wine, but now all wine is permitted to him. Because now we apply a neder shuter miktsasai hutar kulei. A neder that part of it became permitted, the rest of it becomes permitted. Here it becomes permitted regarding the aged wine, and once permitted regarding the aged wine, it becomes permitted regarding the new wine also. Because when he made the neder, he meant to forbid all wine. Okay, so part of it was a mistake. But once part of it is a mistake, then we say the rest of it is permitted also, because a person, when they make a neder, they mean for the whole, they only want the neder to, only meant for the neder to be a neder if everything they said the neder should include would apply. Now, next example. Kainam batzal she'eni tayim. Here again, another example. The person says, batzal means onions. Onions should be forbidden like a carbon, she'eni tayim. I'm not going to eat them. Shabatzal radalev. Onions are bad for your heart. Did you know that? So onions are bad for your heart. That's what the person said. He made the neder because he said, I'm forbidding myself from eating onions because onions are bad for your heart. Amruloi, they said to him, Halaya kufri yafalalev. They call something the village onions, because they grow in villages. That's good for your heart. Oh, so then he says, well, if I would have known that, I never would have made the neder, or I would have said, onions, not the village onions are not village onions are forbidden. Village onions are permitted. Meaning he never would have said anything to forbid the village onions. Okay, so then we say hutar bakufri. So automatically the village onions are permitted. It's very clear that it was a mistake. Now, but then the Mishnah says, but not only is it permitted not only are the village onions permitted, but all the onions are permitted. Because again, it's once the neder, he made the neder. When he made the neder, he meant to include, he was saying all of them. Okay, now part of it is a mistake. Okay, fine, part of it is a mistake. And once part of it is a mistake, we say the person never meant for the neder to be if the whole neder is not going to be applicable. Okay, that's what it means. It's not only permitted regarding the village ones, but regarding all onions. Now, the Mishnah now takes us to a situation where this actually came about, meaning the beginning of the Mishnah is, it's a discussion between the sages. It's theoretical. But now the Mishnah says, I will show you that the situation actually happened and what the practical result was. Ma'aseh, such a story took place where the person had forbidden himself to eat onions because he thought all onions are harmful to the heart. The Tirei Rabbi Meir b'chalab salim. Rabbi Meir permitted him to have all the onions, because once it's established that the neder regarding the village onions was a mistake, and then therefore automatically annulled, the rest of the neder becomes annulled also. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.